Hello and welcome to Slamfire Radio, episode 343 for February 27th, 2020. I'm one of your hosts, Adriel.
I'm another one, Trevor.
And I'm the last one, Kelly.
Oh, there we go. Nice.
See, we did that much better this weekend.
Wow.
The week, whatever.
We just needed a couple, to practice a couple times, and then we got it fine this time.
We've only done it 343 times.
Are you sure it's 343? Because somebody said that we were episode 344 on the Facebook page going live.
Yeah.
You're welcome. I went back and fixed it.
Oh, you fixed it? Oh, good.
Of course it did.
Yeah.
It's called I hit your enter button.
It's called I Got Your Back.
Oh, that's what. Yeah, I got your back by immediately throwing you under the bus on the show the first chance I got. That's how that works. Kelly, come on.
We're a supportive community here.
Yeah, we're supportive. That's why I'm holding the timer tonight, Kelly, so I can tell the listeners at the end of the show how many times you said as well.
As well as what? And stuff. I should do the stuff.
Stuff and things. Stuff and things.
I don't remember what you used to say, but I brought out the counter, and then it went away, and then it was replaced with as well. So let's see if this fixes your as well speech impediment. I'm going to fix it as well.
And stuff. Okay.
Awesome. Moving on as well. What we did with guns this week is brought to you by the Calgary Shooting Centre, Canada's premier firearms retailer.
Hold on. See, that's him having my back.
Who, me? Or Trevor?
Yes. No, you having my back.
Just trying to keep the show moving. That's
okay. Oh, I love
it. Right now, the Calgary Shooting Centre has Timmy triggers for the 1022. So if you want to really get your 1022 all pimped out, they feature a 2.75.
I need a new trigger now. This one's red.
It's multicolored. You can pick.
It's the only different is it's red.
We'll Cerakote yours at the shop
for $100.
He might, if he's doing a batch of red for somebody, he might throw it in for a little less, but
just give it a couple sprays.
Yeah,
give it that distressed look. Yeah.
Oh, Kelly's wearing that look right now. Look.
And you didn't even have to Cerakote me.
Kelly's new look, the distressed look.
Kelly's new look, the pissed look. Okay.
Every Thursday at 7.
It's coming right up. What else is on this Timmy trigger? It comes with an extended mag release. One of the doohickeys underneath there. I got a couple colors for the housing and trigger available. So they've got silver and black, and I think there was a red in there as well. So different combos of housing and trigger shoe and colors and whatnot.
And stuff.
As well.
And stuff as well, yeah.
It's a really nice trigger. It is.
You had one of these on one of yours, right?
I have one in mine, yeah. It's a very light trigger, too.
Yes. They are very pricey. This is one of the pricier triggers for the 1022, but very nice.
It's very nice. It really is.
Well, okay. Why don't we get into that what we did in guns thing? Trevor, you want to start us off?
Sure. I'm actually going to practice score right now to look at my overall combined times again.
That's the only one that matters. Yeah.
No. Well, in steel, you're right. It is definitely the only one that matters. But I went to Fredericton with the guys, stayed at Filthy's again, and we shot 2 steel challenges back to back on Saturday at Larry Shriver's range in Thomaston Corner. And in the morning, yes, I'm going to brag. I don't care. I'm so proud. Don't care. In the morning, my total time with my CZ Shadow 2, I never pulled the trigger on this pistol. It was the first time I lit off a live round with this pistol. And I won production with a total time of 49.3 seconds. And Ben was there with a tricked out 1022, and normally you can't beat a rifle shooter in a steel match, but it turns out that I can. So,
to be fair, you've been shooting the redback a lot, and the redback and the Shadow are going to be similar grip angle, similar weight, similar lots of stuff.
You're so wrong. You might as well just shut up. You don't know what you're talking about. Like you're drunk. So, the redback, beaver tail, and throat of the grip is not as pronounced as the Shadow. But what it is, Adriel, is just simply on steel. I'm better with an iron sight on steel than I am with a red dot. Doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
But here we are now. The second match, I shot the CZ first, did really, really well, a time of 49 something, probably faster than with my 1911 a couple of weeks back. But for the second go around with my redback, I was first production optics, but fourth overall with a time of 63.22.
Whoa.
I can't hit steel with a red dot, man.
That's so interesting. You probably you've probably had like, how many thousands of rounds do you have on an iron sight pistol versus a red dot?
20 times more. Maybe. Yeah.
Where do you see the time lost? Was it in acquiring the sights as you're pulling it up to target? Is it in
waiting for the red dot to stop moving so I can shoot at the plate?
Well, just don't stop. Wait, don't stop for it. Don't wait for it to stop.
Exactly.
Just hammer that trigger.
And that's what I did the next day in Halifax on paper, and man, I did okay. So the two matches on Saturday. First match, I finished first in production, first overall. Second match, I finished second in production optics, and like fourth or fifth overall. So Larry, congratulations. Larry beat me in carry optics in match number 2, but I beat Larry in production in the morning. So
Larry, it evens out.
Yes, it's the karma in the universe is all good and stuff. And the next day, I took my my redback production optics and brought it to the AMA range in Dartmouth, and it was an IPSC level 2 match. The videos are on Instagram, and I finished first in production optics, just barely 3% ahead of Nathan, who and I said, Nathan, I don't know if you listen or not, but funny, man. I sent him a congratulations after the match. I was like, hey, man, you shot a hell of a match. He's like, that's right. And I almost beat you with a Glock. It's like, yes, but if you would have beat me, you would have beat a man who is 10 years older than you. So you could then brag, I beat a 45-year-old with a Glock. I'm a rock star. But anyway, he's getting too good. So he is definitely going to be leading the production optics pack in Nova Scotia in no time. He's already right up there. So, and Derek Merriweather, I put a note on Facebook. I said, anybody want me to bring anything to them when I go to Nova Scotia? And Derek said, yeah, please bring your B game. I did not. I'm
still waiting for my pony, by the way.
I ate him. Pony meat is delicious meat. So, and then along the way, I picked up some refinishing work to bring home. Somebody brought me most of a shotgun at the range while I was there. Yeah, an old buddy of mine from archery. And then Captain Andy sent me home with his muzzle loader barrel. We're going to hot blue it. So it looks amazing right now, but it's cold blue, so it's not going to last forever.
That's the one he made, right?
Yeah. We saw it on the show. So we're going to blue that barrel. Nice. Actually, we're going to rust blue it. And that should be a real nice look on a muzzle loader. And if he doesn't like it, then we'll hot blue it. But we're going to start off by rust bluing it, and I'm sure he's going to love it. So, and then I installed on my Shadow 2 the new wide safety.
Yeah, looks good.
And there's even, man, I don't know. I don't look closely enough sometimes. There's an even wider safety than this on the same website. So, and these are OEM parts, so it does not bump me out of production, but it just gives my thumb a place to rest on this side.
It's pretty big.
Yeah, it's pretty, just about, I'd say, Kelly, identical to mine. Nope, the redback one is the redback one is a little bit wider. And I could have bought the same size for the CZ, but I didn't pay close enough attention. So who knows? I might order the wider one and sell this one. But really, it works. Whatever. I got my thumb on it. It's fine.
Yep, it's cool.
So, but I did that. I can't remember if I did that before or after the match. I don't know. So
it looks nice.
Yeah. And then Tim Thomas is selling me these brass grips to try on my 1911. I got them from him before, and then I was like, I'm not sure, and then I brought them back, and then I decided to try them again. So now they're on my Dan Wesson, and they're a little wider than my VZ grips, which I think may be why I'm not convinced.
You gotta pack that weight in there.
How heavy are they?
They're solid brass.
Yeah, how heavy are they?
Geez, Kelly, I don't know. I actually did put them on the scale, and I didn't write the numbers down, but it's very significant. Yeah, it's like up to my redback weight now. So, and when we had Adam from Atlas Gunworks on, he was talking about the 9mm 1911s. If you want to weigh them down, you got to put the weight at the bottom, put the weight on the grip. So that should help keep the gun super flat and return to zero. What else did I do? Oh, this arrived. Yeah, I'm sitting with this on my lap the entire time, and almost forgot. Ta-da!
What is that?
That is a Soviet Russian SKS.
It's on authenticity papers.
Oh yes, it did come with a certificate of authenticity, Kelly, and I think it would be appropriate if I read it.
I think you should.
Certificate of authenticity. Lest be known to all free men that this SKS rifle bearing the serial number 4464 has been hand-selected for Trevor Furlot Esquire. This rare and unique specimen was plucked like a kernel of corn from a steaming pile of crap. The owner is bestowed all the pleasures and benefits that comes with owning such a historic and finely crafted piece of armament. Yes.
The pride.
Thank you, Jeff.
The pride.
Pride. Yep. Now.
Yes.
It's awesome. I'm thinking this is actually a blued finish, like a satin blued, and not a barbecue paint. The markings are all on the metal are all like super crisp, and they're painted in white and stuff. All matching numbers, unfortunately, with the exception of the magazine. But the magazine is, quote unquote, properly pinned. The pin is attached to the bottom of the follower. Mm-hmm. So from the outside, there's no big weld or no, you know what I mean? You can't tell that it's been molested from the outside. That's actually important to me. So that at a glance, the rifle doesn't look like it's been mauled. The wood grain is fantastic.
Yeah, it does look nice.
I haven't cleaned it up yet. I'm going to rub it down with a rag and ballistol. I would even actually consider refinishing the stock just to Denis did one for me, and we were always going to
looks okay.
That one, huh?
The finish on it looks like not that bad.
No, not bad at all. Not bad at all. But the rest of the rifle is so good that it warrants refinishing the wood. In my opinion,
just get one of those.
If you say
plastic.
Tapco, I'm going to stab you with the bayonet.
You knew where I was going, so
yeah,
my mission accomplished.
That's right.
Yeah.
So, because Denis did redo the stock on my second SKS, it is barbecue painted. So I was just telling Joey today, like I'd like to completely disassemble it and polish it to at least a 400 and hot glue it. And why? Just because I put pictures all over the internet and watch those SKS people's minds explode. You destroyed the collector value. You putz. There's no collector value.
Not right now, but there
right
may be. You know what SKSs go for in the US?
I do. There's a Yugo sitting on the rack at the gun dealer in McAdam.
How much?
Yeah, like 8.
Nah.
I've never seen one less. I've been in the game.
Yeah, I have. They've always cost more than the other ones, and I've just never been interested.
And they're a different animal. They're beefier. They're more robust.
And this is the grenade launcher.
Yeah, but not all Yugos have that. So, and then today was a snow day, and tomorrow might be too. The way we're going, we're talking like 40 centimeters. The wind is blowing so hard it's rattling my metals. I told that to Andy a while ago, and he giggled, but that's what's happening. The walls are shaking and my metals are rattling, so it is what it is. That's how I know the wind is blowing or the train's passing by and my metals rattle. How do you know? That's right.
Don't have a train by my house, so I wouldn't know.
So yeah, that's all I
Trains
did.
are still running in your part of the country?
Not right now. No. Apparently, a certain group of domestic terrorists has them blocked.
Sweet.
They were running at Andy's on the weekend, though. We were sitting in the hot tub smoking the cigars, and the train went by. I thought it was unusual.
That's nice.
Yeah.
He's in Halifax, though.
No, he's not.
Oh, okay, never mind. I thought he was in Halifax, Dartmouth.
Nope.
All right. Okay.
Cool. Kelly, you want to go up next?
Sure. Okay, so I went to a dinner. It was a gun dinner. Well, it wasn't technically a gun dinner, but it was a dinner. I won't mention names, but anyways, I went to it because I paid a lot of money for tickets, and Kelly Squared went. So Kelly was my date. We went and sat with Marcy and Ryan from SFRC, and we had a really, really good time.
Was this a dinner at Chippendales or?
Yes,
okay.
with guns. But I didn't win anything, so it was actually a Ducks Unlimited dinner. I know.
What?
Yeah, I know. Went to it. Hey, I spent $200 to go. I was going to go.
You're not making your case here. You're not really improving your situation at all.
I went.
Why?
Because
you paid for them. Of course, she's going to go.
Did you throw duck eggs?
But I just wanted to let you know that we got asked to stand up and talk about the CCFR and we got a standing ovation, by the way.
Oh, very interesting.
Interesting, eh? So, the guy that organizes it is actually somebody I work with, and a really, really nice guy. And as I said, I spent $200 to go previous to this whole thing. There's lots of guns there available, and as I said, I sat with some people. It was fun. There was lots of drinking to be had. I won absolutely nothing, so I'm a loser. Just want everybody to know that as well. But it was fun. There was lots of drinking,
the friendship and camaraderie,
right?
Of getting blitzed.
Yes, but it was in the middle of.
You just called it a miscongeniality. You just did that. You won miscongeniality award, Kelly. Way to go.
Well, it was weird because there was a lot of drinking to be had, and yeah, there was a.
And you spent $200. Do you have anything else you want to say for the fourth time?
No. And
she had duck eggs. There was duck eggs served.
It was catered. It was really good. Had lots of food. No, never mind. Anyways, it was fun. What else? Smith and Weston Victory. Still waiting for it. Ontario. Yeah, I was supposed to go shooting.
How long has it been?
Week and 9 days. Yeah, 9 days. So still waiting for it. I haven't heard a word. I'm not. They're saying about 2 weeks, I think. What else? I was supposed to go shooting on Sunday. Didn't actually happen. One reason is because we were out late the night before at the dinner, but the other reason is because Kelly, her battery is dead on her car, so she couldn't come in. So we got canceled. We actually deferred it. So instead of actually going shooting, I could have gone, but I didn't. I actually made this stuff. This is our traditional apple pie moonshine for the charity shoot. And
traditional charity shoot beverage.
It is. So I made it this year. So it wasn't in 1 liter; it's in half liter. So we've got enough for everybody, I think.
Everyone who comes to the charity shoot gets liquor. No,
no, we got enough for everybody who generally comes to the after party. So maybe, I don't know.
I like the little card on there too.
It's a huge card. I should have made it a little smaller.
Of people are wanting to get invited to the after party.
You like this? Apple pie moonshine. I'm totally out of moonshine now, but I added I added enough moonshine, and then I actually added enough vodka, a little extra, just to kick it up a notch. So
you added vodka.
No, there's vodka in this. There's a lot of vodka in this. So vodka and apple and moonshine. And I'm out of moonshine, so I'm going to have to go and see my supplier. But it's really, really good stuff. If anybody has not had it, they should come to the charity shoot because it'll be available. Just saying. And then I
also just saying, if you get alcohol poisoning, it's on you.
It's your own fault.
It is true.
Right.
My suggestion is that we actually put a disclaimer on it saying, please drink responsibly. I guess. I don't know. That's about it. I don't know. Do you still have some in your fridge, by the way?
I think it's finally all gone.
Okay. That's sad. You'll have some in a bit. Formats.
Man, there's a lot of sugar in it, so I'm not really keen on it anymore.
There is a lot of sugar in it.
Yeah, so I'm good.
Okay. Just saying. It tastes exactly like apple pie.
It's all about that healthy life.
I know.
That's right. Scotch and cigars.
Scotch and cigars.
But no sugar.
I spent the rest of the week doing stuff for Maple Seed, so I was able to get out all the stuff for our shoot boxes. So shoot boxes, was able to send that all out to everybody in BC, Alberta, New Brunswick, etc. So, and Saskatchewan. So we're going to be able to have events now.
Yay!
It's awesome. Yay! Adriel is going to be inundated with boxes this next week, though.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I've been a busy boy online. My credit card's very hot, and Kelly's been sending me stuff too.
So,
but Kelly's stuff doesn't come with the corona.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, it comes with something. I don't know.
I'm immune now.
Yeah, you probably are. But that's all I've done. So what about you, Adriel?
Let's see. On Saturday or Sunday, I can't remember which day. One of those days, I went shooting mostly 22s. Took the boy out, went and did some Maple Seed style stuff with a mat on the ground and all that kind of thing. I shot the Savage 64 takedown, A22, and a couple of other 22s. A22 trigger is really interesting. Like, that is a very odd trigger on it. It's got the shoe style trigger that a lot of the Savages have, but the reset on it is deceptive, and you can get trigger freeze just rapid firing with it if you don't let it all the way out. Not just the trigger all the way out, but that shoe as well, which is kind of interesting. But that gun, just by itself, like that long cycle that it's got, very smooth to shoot, nice and accurate too. Savage 64, no. No to the accuracy, no to the reliability, but it was cheap. So it was very cheap. So I went out and shot those guys, got some video footage taken. And then I got home, and I don't know if it was at that same weekend. Buddy of mine got just read the SFRC sale email before I did, and he's like, "Oh, look at this M57 Tokarevs from SFRC for $189." And these are used ones, but how used could they be?
But are they Russian?
No, they're Yugoslavian.
Spring loaded.
What's that?
This is spring loaded. This SKS has all the good stuff.
Oh, what's the year on it?
50.
Yeah, 50. Yeah.
And it's not completely covered in Cosmoline like I thought it would be. Like, I'm taking it apart so I can clean it. No, man, it's all been degreased already.
Very nice. Might want to check inside the firing pin channel on the bolt, because a lot of times that's still got grease in it. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's...
you don't hear any,
No, and the firing pin retaining pin is a little bit different than some of the other ones I've seen.
Mm-hmm.
This could be unfired, man. This is in really, really good shape.
We were talking just before the show. I think they got that designed and tooled up, and then the AK-47 came out, and I bet you they had so many factories ready for that, they just started cranking them out.
That's the bottom of the bolt.
Sorry,
pull it back just a little bit.
How's that?
Yeah.
See the markings clearly?
Yeah. CIP.
That's the bolt face.
Looks like it's been test fired, and that's it. Yeah.
Crazy. Sorry. Carry on. I'm just tearing my SKS apart.
Well, I'm going to be tearing apart some surplus stuff here shortly, too. So I ordered a couple of those M57s. I looked around. So
really? Why?
Why? What?
It was a really good price.
Why did I order them? Yeah. I don't have any old pistols. All my pistols are new competition pistols. So I wanted something that had some age to it and was kind of old and neat. So
Denny had one that I bought from him. It was Russian, all matching numbers, magazine that was matching, repop holster. I really enjoyed it. But it's corrosive ammo and a pistol,
Yeah, so it should be super easy to clean.
Yeah, you're not wrong. I know.
Yeah. So you had a Russian. So
Yeah.
Between the different tokes, there's a couple of different differences between them. The M57s are a 9-round magazine and a little bit longer of a grip. It's almost like they're the P10F of Tokarevs. So they've got meat to grab onto, is what I think. Because I had both a 213, which is a 9mm version that Canada Ammo sold for $100 a pop way back in the day. I think I got 2 of those. And as well, I had a Chinese. Oh, what's their Tokarev? I can't remember what it is.
I don't know. They were like $99 for the longest while.
Yep. And my complaint with the Chinese one and with the 213 was no place for my pinky. The grips suck, the sights suck, and so I didn't really like them. But I'm hoping this M57 with that taller grip is going to give more meat to grab onto, and I'll just deal with the rest. Yeah, so SFRC had those on sale, so I got a couple of those.
They were a good price.
Yeah, $189.
And then you said, "Look what I got," and I said, "SFRC, right?"
You got the email too, right? Yeah. Yeah, exactly. And then I was like, okay, well, I gotta get some ammo for this thing. And I looked at it around a couple places, and I was comparing like with shipping costs, because shipping on a crate of ammo is expensive. Tradex had the lowest price and free shipping on it. So I got a 1,200 rounds, I think, 1,260, something like that, whatever crate of it is, from Tradex. And they also had the spare mags for the M57s as well. So I got a couple from there. Yeah. And that should be here tomorrow. Yeah, something like that tomorrow. The transfer was a day. I ordered it on Sunday. I got the email on Monday or Tuesday. Yeah, something like that. A day, anyways. Half a business day. And then I got home and I published the video on that Savage 64 takedown. I'm like, well, I mean, it sucks, but at least it's the cheapest takedown 22. And someone was like, well, no, it's not. The JW20 is. And it's like, oh yeah, I guess it is.
You bought a JW20, didn't you?
Yeah, I bought a JW20. They're on sale at Cabela's for $170. So I was like, why not? I had a Browning SA22. SA22 or SA20? SA22, I think. Literally, it's so old that it's the Browning Semi-Auto 22. That's the model name, and that's what this is a copy of, right? It's so old that the patent is long expired. Super interesting guns. The things I liked about the Browning was the receiver is tiny. The underside charging handle is kind of a neat idea, and it's a takedown model, so that's kind of interesting as well. Trevor, you said your SKS wasn't covered in oil. This was covered in oil.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, and I'll kind of go through why I think. This is the manual it came with, and if you get
it's so pretty,
it's very pretty. There's a guy with a suit and white gloves, and he's like carefully putting ammo into the gun. So I think what's happened here is that this is a mid-90s production. That's what I would guess. Mid-90s production gun that they were going to sell to the US, but got banned, and so they sprayed a bunch of engine fogging oil or whatever kind of preserving oil they did into a bag and stuck this in a warehouse for 30 years. And then North Silver, whoever imported them, would have been like, hey, how about what's that over there?
Pretty much, yeah.
Rifles from the 90s. Listen to this accuracy. When the range is 50 meters, the dispersion diameter of impact points for 4 shots is no more than 70 millimeters. That's about 3 inches.
Yeah.
That's their standard of accuracy. It's no more than 3 inches at 50. But a couple of other things that kind of suggest this is made for American and not for us. Threaded muzzle. So not really any sense in doing that for Canada. When I first took it off, I'm like, oh, it's got a detent in there. I can hear the clicks. There is no detent on this thing. It's just really bad threading on it. Just horrible threading. I think I'm probably going to have to do a little bit of fine tuning to this thing to get it to run really nicely, just because it's very roughly machined, and the QC on it is not fantastic. The sights on it are similar to like the 1022, where they've got that sliding mask thing that goes on, and then they've got a gold dot at the end, which I hate, but whatever. Loads in through the bottom there. So you pull this.
It's a pain in the caboose.
Depending on what kind of shooting you're doing. Yeah,
it's a pain.
Yeah, you wouldn't want to do this maple seeding from prone because you got to tip it down to get the rounds in there.
It's a pain.
Yeah, I think so. I saw one review online. So there's no wiggle on this thing right now. And when I was handling them at Cabela's, I'm like, man, there's a ton of wiggle in this. What's going on with this? It was like, I don't know, they're all like that. I tried tightening the barrel nut, and I watched a couple of videos, and the guys they were loosening the barrel nut and then taking it apart, and then when they put it back together, they tightened the barrel nut. That is the wrong way to do this thing, because if you do that, you'll never get it tight. You got to get it tight when it's off the gun. So you got to pull it off, and then tighten it up, and then lock it down. And that's the only way to get these things properly tight. So,
you gotta go fix the one at Cabela's?
No, that's their problem. That's not my job. Yeah. But I'm going to smooth out a couple of the internal components. Really interesting action. Like one thing that I noticed with the Ruger PCC did this really well. They captured like all the recoil mechanism, the whole thing, like within a very small receiver. That's what this thing does as well. I think it's just a really cool design. Bottom eject, back feed. Yeah. It's magic, space magic. I don't know if it'll run or not. I guess we'll find out. Some people were saying when you take them apart, make sure you don't torque on the wood, because where the wood attaches to the metal is very small and you can crack the wood. I'm trying to think of anything else. I think that's enough. That's enough talking about a $170 Chinese 22. I think that's it for me. So next week I'm going to be getting like a couple of Tokarevs, a bunch of ammo, a bunch of maple seed stuff. Yeah, my mailman's going to be bringing me stuff, like heavy stuff.
Heavy.
Yeah.
Yes.
Every day.
Yeah. There's stickers on those boxes, by the way. Say heavy.
Oh, okay. They're
heavy.
Not like other stickers, like for record use only. Or
no, I was
that.
nice to you. I did not put anything on there that would.
We are always nice to each other. Adriel's the only one that does that on this show. The
only one who knows how to have fun.
Well, no, that's not true. The first bag of dicks I got came from Stephen Casey.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah.
And I kept it to myself for a year because I wouldn't let the devil have the satisfaction. They arrived. I must have told the story before. Bag of dicks arrived at like an after party, after a shoot, after a charity event. I don't know. The house was full of gunnies, and there was a package in the mailbox, and I opened up the bag of dicks, and I was like, one of these bastards planned this so it would arrive while they were here. And I'm not going to give anyone the satisfaction. So I just closed it up and then shut my mouth about it. And I'm telling the story at Captain Andy's a year later, and you should have seen Steven's face. You did get them! Andy, he got the dicks. Oh, fantastic.
Who ate them?
My buddy's wife. I think Bolivar fell in love with her that night because she was really making a big deal about eating these things.
Excellent. Okay, that's it for me. What do we got on to upcoming events? The first one is TACCOM Canada 2020. This will be September 11th to 13th. The Canadian Pro Gun Podcasters Network will be in attendance, including Slamfire Radio. Your favorite podcasters will be on hand throughout the show, so make sure you stop by the booth to meet your favorites and pick up some swag. If you head on over to TACCOMCanada.com and use Early Bird 15 off, you will get a discount.
Or you use the link that we provide, and we will get a little bit of money.
We do?
Oh, yeah, remember we covered this last week. Hello.
I don't remember the money part. I remember the using the link part. And I put the link in the show notes last week too.
You did. You did a great job with that. Thank you. And I shared it again on our Facebook page as well as other social media. Yeah. So go over there and click that link. It's only until March 31st though, so you have to use the early bird 15% off prior to that.
Toot sweet.
You bet.
Yeah.
Nice French, by the way.
Huh? French?
Nice French.
Oh,
yeah,
yes. Toot sweet. Good. Yeah. very quick, I think is what that means, right? I don't
Yep.
know. Yeah. The 10th Annual Podcast Network Charity Shoot will be Saturday, July 4th at the Restigouche Gun Club. Registration and payment will soon be through Practice Score. It'll be $25, and we'll be doing a bunch of shooting. The charity of choice is the Rod Harkwill Memorial Fund. This fund is for the benefit of sick and injured children in the Restigouche area. Kelly, did you want to do this EOSC CCFR Ladies Range Day event?
Okay, sure. So right now it's just to save the date because we don't have the ability to sign up for it yet, but I'll talk about it. So save the date back by popular demand. It's the EOSC CCFR Ladies Day Range event. It's going to be on Saturday, July 25th, and this time we're partnered with Vortex Canada, and we're going to have a fun time at the range. It's a fundraiser this year, and it's going to be for women's health, and all the proceeds will be going to Breast Cancer Action Ottawa. So it's awesome. So put it on your calendars. Tell women in the Kingston, Belleville, Brockville, and Ottawa area that they should come out to it, and we're going to have a fantastic time. So thank you.
Awesome.
Yep.
Let's see here. Intro to PRS shooting. One-day class at the East Elgin Sportsman Association. That'll be March 7th. It'll be $80. That'll be Ken and Ryan, who are on our main topic as well, and they'll talk a little bit more about that during our main topic. If you're interested, please sign up through Practice Score or through the Facebook page. Any other events? Did I miss any? No?
Nope.
Sounds good.
Yes.
Yeah?
DC Armory is putting on a basic reloading course this coming Sunday. That will be March 1st. This coming Sunday, March 1st. To sign up, send an email to info@dcarmory.com or go to the Facebook page or the Instagram or contact me. Joey and I are the ones teaching it. So if you're in New Brunswick and want an introduction to reloading, we'll have a bunch of Hornady products on hand. We'll actually demonstrate how the process works, and maybe even send you home with a loaded cartridge if you have a PAL, of course. So yeah, if you want to learn the basics of reloading, sign up.
Cool.
Sunday.
All right, into the news. This one was just today that I saw. The IWA show in Germany is canceled due to coronavirus. Or canceled or rescheduled to a date that has not been defined is the technical term that they used. It's kind of disappointing.
IPSC Worlds are going on there soon too, so I'm wondering what's going to happen.
Ooh. I bet you they'll just allow them to continue.
Shoot your way out, boys. Shoot the coronavirus in the face.
Well, alcohol's supposed to help, so I mean that should help with IPSC competitors, right?
Because of the new situation in terms with the distribution of coronavirus. Okay.
Yeah, it's all over the place now.
Yeah.
The next one here is a video, so I'm not going to play it for everyone, but basically during, I think it was question period, some political thing, Bill Blair was asked to define assault weapon, and he could not. It was a rambling. Well, could be semi-autos. It's kind of in lineage to whether they were used by the army and made for killing people, and that's an assault weapon.
Yeah, that's what he said. But he couldn't.
Nope.
No, he can. He won't.
Yeah.
Just like they can say how much a buyback will cost, but they won't. They're playing politics. He's to be obtuse on purpose, that yes, Kelly. If they define it, they'll be held to it. Possibly, well, they're liberals. They do what they want. They change their mind as they go. They lie. They steal. Whatever. But they're not going to define an assault weapon, so they can just keep changing the definition as they go, right up until they've come for the sniper rifle, which used to be your non-restricted deer rifle, right? They're not going to define assault rifle on purpose so that they can fit lots and lots of things into meet their definition. They're Webster now. They're their own dictionary.
They can do what they want.
Yep.
And they will.
There's a call it for from the prime minister today about supporting a minority government. Anyways.
Cool.
Mm-mm.
Why don't we get into new gun stuff?
Right.
First one is Prophet River is blowing out a bunch of Nikon scopes. So Prophet River, I don't know what the relationship is with the Nikon, but they seem to sell a lot of Nikon stuff and put a lot of their stuff out for sale. They have some pretty smoking prices.
Yeah.
A lot of this stuff is like half off. So if you're looking for a Monarch or an FX 1000 or one of their M or P tactical scopes, Prophet River has some pretty smoking deals on that stuff.
Prophet River, I'm not saying that these are. Don't they have sometimes some of the refurbished ones as well?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Refurbished, I think Vortex scopes. Yeah. Yep. Yeah, so they get some interesting deals, and this is one of them. So, yeah, if you're looking for some Nikon scopes, check those out. I believe Nikon has discontinued their rifle scopes, though. So, no, not sure what that means when you actually buy one of these. This next one was kind of interesting. I haven't seen this before. Trevor, have you seen this? The SIG P320 Pro Cut optics ready?
Yes.
You have seen it? I have not seen this
in person, but I know it's a thing.
They're in Canada now. Just got here, I guess. Yeah, the SIG P320 Pro Cut 9mm optics ready striker fired pistol. So it looks like they put some lightning cuts in the slide. It's $1,200. Comes with an optics mounting plate, so you can stick on a red dot if you want. And that's interesting.
Oh, there we go. Yeah. Oh, hold on now. Holder. No.
Yep.
I haven't seen this before.
Pro Cut. Nope. I've not seen a Pro Cut.
And it's like a stainless slide, like in the white with a black lower. It's very interesting. I don't know. Anyways, there's that.
Yep, there is that.
Now, we talked about this on the SHOT Show episode, but they're just coming in and pre-ordering that kind of thing. Solely Outdoors is doing a pre-order on the Rem 700 PCRSB 10.5-inch barrel, non-restricted, bolty from Remington. So I guess this would be really good on some of the short-range PRS matches, I guess. I'm guessing because I have no idea. I don't shoot this.
I don't know, man. That's
10-round mag, 223 with a chassis, like an aluminum and a 4N, just like an AR.
The height over bore, like when you switch to a chassis, take my MDT for example. It gives you the same ergonomics as an AR-15 in that the buffer and the bolt carrier group go straight back in line with the buffer tube, which is in line with the stock. So all the forces of energy
go into it. Like on my MDTs, the bolt was always just a little bit above the buffer tube.
Oh, see, my MDT, the bolt is in line with the buffer tube, just like it would be on an AR-15.
Yeah.
Now this chassis is working against that principle. You've got the buffer tube down below the bolt, which if you're going to put a gun in a chassis, in my opinion, the whole purpose of doing it is to get all of that in a straight line, like on the AR platform.
I don't know how you could without making them a lot longer though, because the bolt still has to come back, and everything would be in the way. Your buffer tube would be in the way.
Well, the buffer tube is attached to the back of the chassis at the end of the bolt throw.
That would make it really long, though.
My MDT is not really long.
You got it handy?
Yeah, hold on.
I gotta see this. I gotta see this. Doesn't make sense in my brain. Because I had one of those MBTs in the bolt. Like the Ruger Precision, the bolt telescopes into the buffer.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Which is an improvement on this.
See?
Yeah. It's just really long. That's the only way that works. Yep. It's really long.
Doesn't feel really long.
You're 2 or 3 inches longer just because the bolt can only go as far as the buffer tube starts. Whereas on that other gun, the bolt was going way over top the buffer tube.
Right. And that is long.
I would say for shooting heavy cartridges, that style that you've got there would let you spot your hits better than one that was where the bolt was above. Yeah.
Yeah.
Neat.
Jesus, did an orangutan shoot this last? Why is the length of pull so long? There we go.
Yeah.
Yeah, so this would be my PRS rig right now. 308, bipod up front, monopod in the back, which I would take off and just use a bag.
Yeah.
Good-ish scope,
cool.
but I would use my Vortex.
Cool.
Nice.
All right. What was the next thing we're looking at here? Oh yeah, Magdump is doing. They were selling the CCI standard velocity really cheap. I bought like 2,000 rounds. They are selling it really cheap again, like 7 cents a round. That's really low for CCI standard velocity.
Yeah.
And they're doing it with 500 round bricks, so you don't have to like. Tenda had a good price on these, but you had to buy like 5,000 of them at a time. These guys are selling at 500 pack and at a really good price.
Pack. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which is neat. And Rangeview Sports has Savage Model 64Fs for $139, which is
cheap.
Pretty cheap. There's a reason they're that cheap, but
yep,
they got them cheap.
If you want a cheap 22,
that is very cheap. Yep. And then
how many times can we say cheap?
I'm just gonna keep saying it. This isn't news. This isn't new gun stuff. I just thought it was neat. I saw this on the Kui Collectors Facebook group. The idea of making these tubes for holding 22 shells for speed loading tube-fed magazines. I thought it was kind of neat. They had like shells on either side of some copper tubing and a little what do you call that clip?
Oh, I've seen these made out of an arrow.
Yeah.
Somebody takes an arrow shaft, does the same thing. They just keep the nock on one end, drill the other end, and put a body pin or clip through. And
yeah, I think that's what they were saying in here was they used 25-12 aluminum arrows and some 30-06 brass if you want to like top it off and add a little bit of color to it.
25. Don't get caught up on the 12. If you want to do this, you want to make it out of an arrow. Just get any 25 size Easton aluminum arrow. The 12 does not matter in this
25
equation.
size. Perfect.
25. And that's a fat arrow, by the way. 25s are big. You don't need it. Jeez.
You can do it. You need to fit a 22 LR in there, right?
Well, you could do it in a 22. Or like a 22. A 23 is 9.3 millimeters.
What's the internal dimension, though?
Well, take away the thickness of the wall, so call it like 9.1.
I don't know what that means in 22 language. I don't even know what the rim thickness is on a 22. Anyways, that stuff will work for sure.
You could put your pinky almost inside a 25.
And then finally, and this I don't have this on the list here, but one of our listeners was just mentioning it. They got the WSMCR, and they're one of the first people to get one, like commercially. So personally. And they have a quick little review under the Black Rifle section on CGN with some pics and all that kind of stuff. So
cool.
Yeah, looks neat. So this is the Wolverine and Spectre made 180.
Right.
Looks like so the 180 had I think it was a Delrin or a nylon piston guide in the front. Looks like these guys are using steel or brass or some kind of metal. And gas plug looks a little bit different. Yeah. So if you're interested in seeing a little bit more about what you're going to get and what these things look like, you can check that out on CGN.
Interesting.
Yeah. And the guy who did that review is in our comments right now.
Mr. Brad.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Hey, Brad.
That's it for new gun stuff. Why don't we get on to the main topic?
Hey everyone, and welcome to the main topic. Tonight we have Ryan McLean and Ken Thiessen on. They're going to be talking about PRS. So Ryan McLean, let's do a little introduction on him. Ryan lives in Northern Ontario and has been shooting and hunting for the past 17 years. He started shooting competitions 7 years ago with Ken as his partner in the ORA precision rifle matches. He went to his first PRS match 5 years ago, and he was hooked. He now shoots PRS matches all over Eastern United States and Canada. He also does a bunch of match directing, specifically the Meaford Long Range Steel Challenge with Chris DesRoger, the Canadian Sharpshooters Classic with Rob Furlong, and some day matches at Petawawa as well. And finally, he started working with Cadex Defense in July. That's why I'm wearing the Cadex Defense hat of last year, and he's doing customer service with them and sales. So fantastic. And we also have Ken Thiessen on as well. Ken is the general manager at Bullseye London, one of our favorite stores, by the way, and Vortex Optics, and also Cadex Pro staff. So again, the Cadex hat. He's been shooting competitively for the last 10 years in precision rifle and PRS. He's a member of the Canadian F-class rifle team and has traveled all over Canada and the US to compete. He feels lucky to have had many accomplishments in the various disciplines that he's shot, and over the years he has helped Ryan and Chris run Meaford Long Range Steel Challenge PRS matches, and he's worked closely with Ryan running the club level matches as well in the training clinics. So both Ken and Ryan, they work together on training, and it focuses on the competitive shooting, getting new people into the sport, and also building the PRS sports in Canada. So we wanted to say welcome to you guys. So welcome.
Thank you.
And the other thing,
rarely does the intro take half the time of the interview. That's amazing.
I said, you know what?
I'm going to give you. There's an intro, and then there's reading the guest's resume, Kelly. You guys are hired.
I wanted a bio because I didn't want to miss anything, because both of these guys are fantastic. Like Ryan, you've been on before, right?
Yeah, I have. Yep.
Yeah, but Ken hasn't. So
no, this is my first time.
Right. I wanted to make sure I didn't miss anything, because they're so active in our community and they do so much, and they're fantastic guys. So I said, give me a quick bio so that I can actually introduce you guys properly.
And that was the version of quick?
Yeah. Let's talk about what they're here for, actually. So you guys are going to be having a clinic on the 7th, which is coming up next weekend. Not this weekend coming up, but the next one. Do you want to talk to us a little bit about it? That's the main reason why we have you on, but we also want to talk about some of the matches that are going to be happening, and also PRS as well. So the clinic that's coming up, it's going to be at East Elgin. Do you want to tell us exactly what it's all about? Because people don't even have to bring guns or anything, right?
No, that's right. Ken, I'll let you handle that one, and then I'll talk about the other two at the end of March there if you want.
Yeah, for sure. So with the clinic coming up here on the 7th, it is very much an intro to PRS style shooting. So what we wanted to offer people, and we get feedback all the time, is, there's new people wanting to come into the sport. There's people that don't know what they want to do. They don't know what kind of gear they need. So this clinic is very much based around the new shooter that really knows nothing, but has seen PRS, kind of knows what it's about, and they want to dive into it, and they need some direction. So myself and Ryan felt that there's a need in the area for some information to be spread, and that's basically what we're doing with this clinic. Is it's like you said, no equipment needed. Just show up with an open mind and a notepad, and we're going to try and feed you a whole bunch of information that is based on the competitive shooting side of things, but obviously can be used in any shooting discipline that you partake in. We're just hoping to get that information out there for people, and get them to get their feet wet, get them into the PRS shooting sports, and help them feel comfortable when they get to their first match, because it can be pretty overwhelming if it's new and you don't know what to expect.
Okay. Are you going to cover technical pieces as well? Like, for example, rendering or anything like that? Or are you just going to go into the equipment needed, benefits of it?
We get into a little bit of everything, and because there's so much information out there, especially when you get to some of the technical things, it can be very overwhelming for the new person. But we're definitely covering equipment, optics, giving certain suggestions and having them, point them towards the right type of equipment, including firearms. And we touch on, obviously you've got to be aware of the wind and wind reading and some ballistics and things like that are involved in order to hit targets at distance. So we try to cover all of it as much as we can without melting their brains.
Okay. All right. And so it's next Saturday. How much is the cost of it? Where can people sign up for it?
So sign up is on Practice Score. You can
Nice.
sign up for the clinics directly there. The cost of the clinic is $80, and it's going to be the majority of the day. So we're looking at about 8:30 to 3:30. Time with that clinic usually is dependent on how much discussion's in class and how fast we can move along. But usually we go till about mid-afternoon, so we don't try not to burn your entire Saturday on you. But it's definitely a full day of information and learning.
That's interesting. Ken, how much of what you're going over covers like how to compete in PRS, how to score well, and actually like the competition or the match?
Yeah, we try to cover the basis on all of those items. Obviously, trying to get them a good idea of what to expect when they go to the first match. So we try to cover everything from the equipment, the target styles, the shooting styles, the different barricades that you might be shooting off of, and all the things that go along with it. So we're really trying to give them a very good baseline of what to expect, so they have an idea of what's going on. And of course, the PRS has been becoming more and more popular throughout the years, and there's a lot of information out there. There's more videos, there's more training, there's more matches going on. So there's lots of things there that we can point the guys in the right direction.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, that's cool. I mean, with IPSC, there's Black Badge, and that's probably handy for a lot of people who haven't competed before. But I think that PRS attracts a different set of people that want to shoot accurately and not run around with a pistol in their hands and black cardboard stuff real close.
And I've used the term with PRS. People kind of ask, what is it really like? And I shoot IDPA and IPSC myself, and I'm familiar with those disciplines. But I tell them it's kind of like IPSC with a rifle. You're under a time stressor. You've got to make sure you get your points. But you've got to be not only quick, but you have to be very precise at it, because of course we're talking about longer ranges here instead of that 7, 10, 20 yards.
Yeah, exactly.
So fantastic with that. That's the introduction with that. So if people actually want to get into the shooting aspect, you've also recently introduced some of the matches, more of the club level matches. Ryan, do you want to talk about those? You got some of those coming up as well?
Yeah, actually, we also have two introduction to matches, introduction to PRS matches. Classes we're going to be running at the end of March. So we're going to have a live fire, center fire, and a rim fire one on the 28th and 29th at East Elgin as well. We're only really going out to 300 meters, but we're really focusing on the fundamentals of the shooting. Make sure everybody has a good understanding of how to shoot prone directly into the positional shooting, how to attack different barricades, and really take it to the next step after class. So the guys, after they've done that, they can move up into the actually do some center fire or rim fire work with Ken and I. So the idea behind that, like I said, just to get them that one step closer to going to the first matches. So.
Okay, and one of those?
March 28th and 29th. So the center fire one's on the 28th, and the rim fire's on the 29th. We haven't really been advertising them as hard because they're about halfway full now, and we wanted to make sure the guys that people are taking the intro class could get a chance at getting into them as well.
Okay. So you're talking about rimfire and you're talking about center fire. Now these people are pretty new to it. So what are you suggesting that they bring for what types of rifles?
So on the 28th, it's center fire only because we have to change up our targets we're going to be using for each day.
Okay.
So center fire, literally, they can bring anything they want, as long as it has a scope that they can adjust for elevation, preferably a 10-round mag. But if they don't, we can work around that too. Like I said, it's an introduction to this level of shooting. And on the 29th, it's a rim fire only, so we're going to be moving the targets in a little bit, or increasing the targets slightly as well, just to make sure that we can get the hits on steel. And still put the fundamentals to the shooting that we're offering.
Okay. Now, you've also introduced other matches as well. I know that you work with Morgan out in Petawawa and some other areas as well. Do you want to talk about some of those that are coming up?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, actually, I was just writing down all the matches I have, and I didn't realize I was getting quite so busy. So, so first matches we're going to be running in Petawawa is going to be in May on the 16th. Once again, all the registrations on the practice score for this under the Petawawa PRS club matches, I should say. So these matches are one-day matches. Usually shoot 10 stages, 100 rounds in the day. And we're in there by 7:30, and we're out of there by 3:30 in the afternoon. All tore down and ready to go. So they're a great time. Usually get 35 to 45 shooters out for them. And everybody really enjoys them. It's a good introduction to new shooters for actual match shooting, and a really good practice for the guys that are experienced shooters. We try to mix up the squads as much as possible, getting the experienced guys with the new guys, so they can work along with them. We encourage spotting and helping them out if they're missing, that type of thing, helping them out with the positional. It's really a really fun match to go to. We don't do any, major prizes or anything like that. There's usually a few draw prizes at the end of the day, but everybody's out there to have a good time. And if they place first, second, or third, they get a cool trophy too. So, basically having one a month from May, June, July, August, and September is the finale. I'm hoping right now, actually in June we do have 2 days. The Saturday's a practice and Sunday's a match. Same thing with September. We got a practice and a match, which is the finale, is the match there. The June practice, we're in the process of seeing if we can get access to do a night shoot.
Oh, cool.
And which is going to be a lot of fun. I just got to get the lights over to them to get the approval for it, but it's something we can do on that range, so it's going to be a lot of fun.
Awesome. So you both are with KDEX Defense. You're both pro staff for them. What are some of the new things that are coming out for KDEX, or what are some of the rifles that you're recommending? I know that at Meaford, KDEX is there and people get to actually shoot the rifles and play with them. But what are some of the rifles and also some of the equipment that you're recommending, for example, for those matches, but also for Meaford that's coming up?
Yeah, so the rifle that's really best suited for the PRS from KDEX is the Light Comp series, the Light Competition or Field Competition series. We came out with that a couple years ago. A little longer forend on it. It's now M-LOK as well on the forend. Obviously, all your necessary adjustability with the length of pole, cheek rest. The other big thing is, too, it runs on a R7 action, which is has a 4-lug design and a 50-degree bolt throw, so it's very, very fast to run for those quick follow-up shots. It's what Ken and I both run for our match rifles.
They're nice.
Just got mine back in a nice white color.
Snow camo.
Did you go with the white? It's going to get dirty.
I don't know if it will. Whatever. Anyway, so they did a cool job on it. I guess also looking at this, one of the big things for competition-wise is you need to have an ARCA rail. This is the ARCA rail system on the bottom right here. I don't know if it's going to show up in the pictures or not, but
yeah, it's showing.
The one thing that's different on ours is we have a locking system in the center, so you can actually adjust it anywhere you want and lock it back down. So one of the downsides to regular ARCA is under recoil it can shift around because it only has the clamping. It doesn't have that locking like you would on a Picatinny. Now you have that locking and the sliding ability with our system.
Interesting.
So yeah, so that's one of the big things there. The other big release we had for this year is our new hunting rifle system. Pretty excited about that. It's focused more towards a performance hunter guy that wants something more than just that 700 or the Tikka or whatever else out there. They want to be able to make sure they have a solid setup that they can really reach out, and we're chambering that in some pretty heavy recoiling cartridges all the way up for guys that really want to smack a moose at a distance, or
I mean, it's minimum for a deer these days is 338 Lapua. I think any lower than that it just bounces off of them.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, I'd say that new hunting line series is built around the guy that is competitive in nature but doesn't want to drag around his 18-pound competition gun to do the hunting work. He's got something that's going to perform just as well. That's in a lighter profile to get out in the field with and put some miles on it.
Right, and it's a Cadex. Come on, it's quality, right?
100%.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, Ken, why don't you recommend some rifles for people? Or sorry, not rifles, but optics for people who are looking for. I know you're pro staff for Vortex. So, what do you need? People are always asking, what do you need for magnification? And,
I mean, it's one of those things. Optics is a very deep subject, and you could argue it on the internet all day long. Of course, I'm a little biased, and I do have my love for a lot of the Vortex brand. Myself, I love the Razor Gen 2. It's their top tier optic. It's at a higher price point that not everybody can afford to get into. But that being said, it's a fabulous scope that covers everything that you need to do. They do have a lot of offerings in some budget-minded aspects. The most popular one coming down from that's probably your Vortex PST Gen 2. And you're generally looking around a $1,500 price point for something like that. It's in a 6-24 power magnification, which kind of works for everything that you need. And if you're really budget minded, or if you wanted something that's good for the rimfire rifles, their Diamondback Tactical line as well. You're in that $500 mark. Similar magnification offerings. All of these are first focal plane scopes, which is pretty well a must in the PRS discipline. Can you shoot it with second focal plane? Yes, but you're going to make things difficult on yourself. So first focal plane is basically what you're going to be looking for. And I tell people not to get too hung up on magnification. Of course, a lot of it is personal preference with that. People think that you need 50, 60 power magnification scopes to shoot long range, and that absolutely is not the case. I've shot plenty of 1,000-yard plus shots on 10 or 15 power, and generally in PRS, you're running those lower to medium magnifications in most stages, that 12, 15 power. You get good field of view, you're able to manage your recoil properly, stay on target. There's lots of reasons for the magnification selection. So it's definitely, they've got lots of good product in the market. Of course, they're not the only ones. There's lots of top tier optics companies out there.
Not true.
But lots of options out there for people for sure. Obviously, that's one of the things we cover in our clinics and our classes to try and help people understand what they need. There's definitely some things that are better in the market than others. Some are just gimmicks. Some actually do the work. So it can be a little overwhelming for the new shooter getting out there when it comes to the optics thing, but we try to point them in the right direction.
So you said there's just a couple of things that you need for sure. So what are a couple of things that you need for sure?
If you're looking to compete PRS, I mean, you don't need to get all of the gear that's out there, and you could go broke buying it all, to be honest.
Yep.
You'd need a good gun that'll hold under MOA, a bipod, a rear bag, and a good optic, and a range bag to carry some of your ammo and your peripherals around, spare parts and mags and stuff like that. You really don't need a lot to get started. Obviously, when you jump into it and you start seeing the guys at the range and you see all the extra gadgets and toys and the extra accessories, there are certain things that can help you, but there's also a lot of things that could hinder you as well too. So then it becomes a bit of the game of trying to find out what works for you.
Okay.
Yeah.
You need some training.
A little bit, I tell people, like, everybody wants to buy the $5,000 rifle and think that's going to be the one that gives them the 1 mile shot. To be honest, and you spend $2,000 on equipment, $5,000 on training, and learn how to use what they get. Because to be honest, the equipment has come leaps and bounds in the last years, even from when I started shooting. I mean, the optics are better, the accessories are better, the guns are better, even the factory loaded ammunition is better. So your standard firearms and equipment are usually far more capable than the shooter behind it until they get some training and some understanding under their belt to actually see what the equipment can do. It's pretty impressive with what you can do with an off-the-shelf firearm now these days, and there's a lot of offerings out there. So lots of manufacturers are got some budget-minded firearms out there, so you don't have to go broke to go compete, right?
Right. So, Trevor has a question. He's raised his hand. Good job, Trevor.
2. So it doesn't bolt versus gas. The impression I'm getting is it doesn't matter. What matters is the accuracy. You can go with a gas gun if it holds under MOA. Okay.
I'd agree with that. It's tough to get that type of accuracy out of a bolt gun. It's not impossible. There's lots of guys. Out of a gas gun.
Yeah.
My apologies.
You both run bolt. I know that.
Yeah, and you'll see the majority of the shooters do run a bolt. You generally get very, very good accuracy of the bolt gun. And the other thing is what most people don't realize is you have multiple recoil impulses on a gas gun. Normally, you've got the recoil impulse when you pull the trigger, and then you've got all the moving parts in the bolt carrier group, the mechanism going back forward. So recoil management is key to keep on target, and sometimes that can give you a little extra disturbance when you're trying to see downrange.
Very good point that I'm sure a lot of people don't consider. Next question. Is the caliber race going on, or is there really only one and it takes people a while to get there? And if so, what is it?
Caliber is always a hot topic. Obviously, the biggest one that's come to the forefront over the last few years is the 6.5 Creedmoor. That's been the popular launch reference there.
Will I grow my own man bun if I switch to it, or is one provided? How does the man bun
I think
thing
that's
work?
reserved for the 6 Creedmoor guys now. I think 6.5 you're fine now.
Yeah. I think
Trevor, take off your hat. You could use some extra hair.
So the caliber race is just like the optics discussion on the internet. You're always going to be wrong. There's always going to be an argument off it. The 6.5s, the various 6.5s have been the most popular ones. 6.5 Creedmoor, as I mentioned, 6.5 47. There's still some guys running the 260 Remington stuff. I mean, heck, I ran a 260 Ackley Improved up to 2 years ago. And I finally switched to the 6.5 Creedmoor. You'll see a lot of guys running a lot of the 6 mils. And the reason for the 6 mil is that there's a little less recoil impulse to deal with. So they're definitely a little easier to maintain on target. Usually a little flatter shooting. But if you're getting into the ranges like Meaford, for instance, where the wind's really blowing and you get some shots out there that are out past 1,000, then the 6.5s of the heavier bullets can buck the wind and perform a little bit better out there. So it is a little bit of a personal preference, and you'll see a spattering of all those calibers across the top 10 or 20 guys in the PRS. It's between 6 millimeter and 6.5s.
Really?
I would say the majority. Yeah, the majority of guys are running 6 mils down in the States.
Nobody's even bothering with a 30 cal of any kind anymore.
Unless you're running TAC class, you're running a 308 for TAC class. And that's up to a 178 grain bullet.
Now describe TAC class. What's the firearm and scope combo look like?
So it is the only thing they describe for the TAC class is if it's a 223 or 308, and that's up to I believe it's a 178 grain at 2,700 feet per second is the speed limit you're set to, and then a 223, I believe it's up to 77 grain going 3,100 or 3,000, one or the other.
Sounds like an old person category, like Hipstick Classic or something like that.
Yeah, for antiquated calibers and cartridges. Is it the same target, same distances?
Yeah, everything's exactly the same. Basically, what it is it was designed for guys that are in the military, police, that type of thing, so they can go use what they're using at work.
Or jagged old bastards like me that don't believe in 6.5 anything. My grandpa liked 308. It's good enough for him. It's good enough for me.
Just bring out your 30-06 then.
Oh, Jesus. That's crazy. Recoil management. Hang on target. Come on now.
Yeah. To be honest, the 308, I mean, when I started shooting, that's the cartridge I shot with. And I've told guys, if you're starting out, there's definitely nothing wrong with a 308. And I've shot 308. Me and Ryan both shot together for a long time. He shot 223. I shot 308. And if you can get really good at shooting a 308 and 223 at distance in some gnarly wind, when you make that switch to one of these 6.5s or 6 millimeter cartridges, it almost feels like you're cheating because they're just ballistically that much more efficient.
That was my next question. Is the 6.5 really outperforming them that noticeably? And it
Yeah,
is.
100% it is.
Yeah, I remember the first year me and Ryan both switched. We came off shooting 223 and 308s when we were running some ORA precision rifle stuff. And the first year we both built the exact same gun, same platform, running 260 Ackley improved, so a 6.5 millimeter variant. And I remember, our first match, we really had to grasp our wind calls because we were overcorrecting. We'd normally look at that target range and go, you know what, I need X amount of wind on the gun, and you'd pull the trigger and you go, man, I literally needed half of that. So you soon saw that you could cut the wind without making some big adjustments, and there's a little bit of a saving grace there for you. So it is a real thing.
So what's the parent case on the 6.5? Like if I've got a rifle chambered in 308, can I just swap the barrel?
You could. So the case head dimension is the same, so it will run on any short action standard bolt face provisions, 308, 243, anything like that. So
what barrel length are guys running?
Majority you're seeing guys like 24 inch ish, give or take.
24 to 27.
Yeah.
Jeebus, 27. Somebody's compensating.
Gotta get that extra 10 FPS out of that thing.
That's right.
All right, you may have convinced me to take I have a PRS rifle. I mean, it's in a chassis. It's all tuned up and stuff. It's got a Schillen barrel, but two things: one, it's in 308, and two, it's only 20 inches long.
Mm-hmm. I wouldn't let that deter you from it. There's lots of guys.
Ken, I'm a gear whore, buddy. This is
time to upsell, right?
Yeah, you guys need to stay on after the show to sell them the latest,
Yeah.
So,
and then maybe I'll take my Gen 2 PST and put that on the bolt gun instead of on the gas gun. The gas gun's in 308. The bolt gun's in 308. I don't need both in 308, and I never had a 6.5. Glad you guys came on. Yeah, my wife probably not so much.
We can definitely get you pointed in the right direction. I think we can make a real good setup for you.
Well, first thing would be to take class. I understand the value of that. I'd be more than happy to leave the gun home.
You have to come to Ontario.
What, for the learning? Yeah.
That's the other thing I was going to ask you guys about. So let's be honest, PRS has started to really catch on across the country, especially when you can get into it, dabble into it with some of the rimfire that's going across the country. Mm-hmm. Who, besides you guys, who else is, so Ontario, if you're in Ontario, we can get to you, but, on Alberta.
BC, isn't BC running that? Well, of course, wherever Ryan is, this is going to be a thing.
BC and out east. Do you know of anybody who's running these types of courses, introduction to PRS across the country?
Or even matches?
Not that I know of. The guys out in BC that are running some matches are I believe they're going to be running them again this year. Is the engineer from MDT there, Ken?
Josh.
Josh.
Yeah. Josh Botha.
Yeah.
Josh has been running some stuff out in BC there. And the guys, some guys in the southern Alberta have been running some stuff as well. As for clinic-wise, I don't know of anybody else running any clinics, like basic stuff like this. The Call Sign 66 guys run a few different things with positional shooting. Yep. Other than that, not that I know of, that's really for PRS-based type shooting.
Okay. Rob Furlong's not running anything?
No, not PRS-wise. He's
different thing.
That was all, really different. Okay. It's all vision long range.
Okay. All right. So let's talk a little bit about some of the other matches that are happening across the country. Do you want to talk about Meaford? Do you want to talk about the Rob Furlong?
Yeah, absolutely. So I guess I'll go in Rob Furlong match. So it's a Canadian Sharpshooter Classic. It's going to be July 11th weekend out in Hanna, Alberta. So it's it's about 3 hours from Edmonton, about 2.5 from Calgary. So it's a bit of a drive out there, out past Drumheller. It's a beautiful area to shoot. And once again, we'll be shooting probably around 200 rounds. And it's a pretty neat place to shoot because you can actually shoot out to about 4,500 meters on his range. And we don't go that nearly that far, but you can if you wanted to. It's a lot of fun to shoot there because it's just flatter than flat, and the winds are wild. Ken came out; he can speak to that a bit too.
Yeah.
And
I mean, and it is different. Obviously, topographically, it's different country out there. But it is Rob's got a beautiful area there, and as Ryan mentioned, it's quite flat. You're in the middle of nowhere, literally, which is a great thing. And Ryan does a great job. He did a great job last year setting up that match because. You show up and you basically have an empty field and you've got to make something of it. And so the targetry and the distances and the course of fire definitely were challenging. It wasn't an easy match by any means, but definitely a unique match the way it was laid out and how it was done. So definitely one I recommend. It's definitely one I'm going to try and get to this year again because it was a ton of fun. It was challenging and we had some great shooters out there, and it was good to see a lot of the Western shooters that are out in that area. They don't always get the chance to come east to the Meaford match, and there's some good talent all the way across this country that's a little bit hidden sometimes. Not everybody's maybe aware of it, but definitely a good match. So it's definitely one to check out if you're able to get to that one for sure.
Fantastic.
Yeah, so then there's also the Meaford Steel Long Range Steel Challenge. I think this is year 5, Ken. Year 4.
This is year 5.
Yeah, this is year 5.
So, time flies.
So this match is at the Meaford military base, the training base there, and it's on their artillery pad. So it's kind of a unique situation because shooting on it's about a 150, 200 yard long pad. And we have 10 stages all the way across that on each day. So you shoot a total of 20 stages on that, and it's a field style match. So there's no backdrops for any of the targets, no backstops on any of the targets. So you got to make sure you're really on the target. We challenge the guys with the location there with a ton of wind coming off the bay. And I always get a lot of great comments from the guys out of the States how challenging the facility is to shoot at. It's still we still really push for a lot of the new shooters that are coming out to make sure they get as many hits as possible and have a great time. We always make sure we feed the guys really well at both the matches. It's always a blast. That one I like a lot because you can watch around you too, see who's shooting on either side of you, see how they're shooting different stages. We get some really, really good talent coming out of the States there. We had Dave Preston up last year, Ken Sanoski, a whole bunch of the guys out of the Ohio, Pennsylvania area. And man, those guys can shoot. They're just machines.
Mm-hmm. So last year you had Dave Preston and Ken Sanoski. They did a clinic in Petawawa afterwards as well. So are you planning to do that as well again this year?
I wish I had time to. I just don't have the time right now. If we run into a point where we can squeeze them in the fall, we'll try to squeeze another one in Petawawa there. But as of right now, like I actually have possibly 5 more dates I'm waiting to hear on as well to go and for running matches. Plus, I like to shoot a bit too. So.
Match director, you no longer get to shoot.
Luckily I can shoot my Petawawa matches, which is nice. Yeah. So it's kind of the reason why I run them because I want to shoot them too. So.
Yeah, it'd be great to do that. They're fantastic shooters, so it'd be great to learn from them. What were you going to say, Ken?
Yeah, and I was just going to add to that. I mean, in regards to the 2 Canadian matches, I mean, obviously the U.S. has got matches going on all over the place every weekend, and it's lucky for us that we have now 2 matches in Canada. Meaford being one, Rob Furlong's match being the other, and definitely people looking. We encourage people to come out and shoot, whether you're new or seasoned. But these are not what I'd call a meatball match. Like these are serious matches, and they stack up to some of the best matches that are run down in the U.S. So if you can't travel to the U.S. or you can't afford to do the match in the U.S., but you want to go shoot a legitimate match, definitely these are 2 of the matches to be done. And, aside from that, like you mentioned with David Preston and Ken Sanoski coming up, obviously they're some of the best shooters in the country or in North America, along with a whole bunch of others. Mm-hmm. We were lucky enough to be able last fall to have them do a little bit of a clinic that was more geared to more advanced stuff. to teach people with. I mean, myself and Ryan, we know what we know what we know, and we've done what we've done over the years. We don't claim to know everything, and we're learning every day. But we want to be able to offer some top level instruction with some of the top guys in the PRS, and that's what we're able to offer. And if we get the chance to do it again this year, we definitely want to try and make that happen.
Yep, and there's some of the nicest guys in the world too.
Absolutely.
And I lucked out. I'm going to be heading down to Dave's there at the beginning of April to do some training with him. So one-on-one, so it'll be great down there. The other thing I was going to mention too, like if somebody's doesn't have the equipment to shoot a match yet, or they don't think they're ready to shoot a match, they can always RO these matches just to see how they run and what to expect when they get out there to actually shoot. I know Kelly, you've come out the last 2 years and been fantastic having you on the pad and having you around as well. So
it's fun. It's one of my favorite things to do. It really is.
Yeah, for sure.
Just yell impact. Impact.
Yeah.
Do you guys yell impact? I assume you do.
Yeah, we do.
Okay, good.
Yeah, we do. It's a really, really good time. So if you have the opportunity to volunteer, Ryan's going to be probably putting that out soon too, right? Yeah, you're going to need some volunteers this year. Okay. Anything you guys that we didn't talk about? I'm going to hit Adriel and Trevor first before we go back to you guys. You guys have any questions that we didn't cover?
No, I think that was a good overview. I think like the course, like I mentioned before, good idea because a lot of new people might not be successful if they just came out and shot a match. So for some people, they want to be as prepped as possible, and I think having a course where they can go learn, get a little bit more comfortable with it is a good idea because then they'll take that, they'll go to a match, they'll apply what they learned, and that's fantastic. I really like the idea where you guys had that big match and then training around that as well because people will have it fresh in their heads, that match, and to go from match to training or training to match, whatever it is, I think is really good as well because just adding those reps and that focused time to practice and apply what you learn is really good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay. Ken, anything that anybody you want to thank, anybody you want to plug, anything like that?
I mean, definitely lots of people to thank. I mean, we've got a whole slew of people that support us. Obviously, Cadex Defense, Vortex Optics, Bullseye London, without being said.
Can we talk? Sorry to interrupt, but can we talk a little bit about Bullseye?
Absolutely.
You guys are moving soon, are you not?
We are actually, which has been, it's very exciting for us. It's been something that's been work in progress for the last couple of years. So right now our tentative move date is May 1st. Okay. We'll be moving to a brand new location, which actually isn't far from our current location. It's going to be a 14,000 square foot facility, which is massive, a lot bigger than what we've got now. A good chunk of that is going to be, or a fair chunk of that's going to be retail, definitely more than, I think about double than what we have now. So we're looking at about 5,000 square feet in the retail space. The rest of it will be back end warehouse, shipping, receiving, things like that. So definitely looking forward to that. That's going to help us carry more inventory and better serve our customers. So definitely looking forward to that project. Awesome. And then as well, coming a little bit later down the road is going to be hopefully the building and completion of our range, which is going to be about early fall is what we're forecasting. So
fantastic. Cool. Awesome. Yeah. Okay. So was there anybody else you wanted to thank? I kind of interrupted you.
No, that's okay. Definitely, like I said, Cadex Defense, Vortex Optics, Bullseye, Korth Group, Hornaday Bullets, Benchmark Barrels, Gary Eakin from Bighorn Sales, Dan at Ennett Case, Chew Brothers Precision. I mean, all those guys have been supporting us over the years, and we definitely couldn't do what we do, not only from a shooting and performance aspect of that, but also getting support for running these clinics and matches and other stuff. So the firearms community has been great, especially in Canada with being a little smaller than the US, but we've been lucky to have a lot of people that we work with closely step up and help support not only us, but the matches as well. So
fantastic. Okay. And we'll end with you. How about that? What do you have anybody that you want to thank, Ryan?
Yeah, obviously, pretty well everybody can cover there too. Obviously, Bullseye's been a huge help for myself, and it's a great store to go to. They always have, all the products I'm needing, or Ken's always willing to get the stuff in if you needed it as well. I know that anybody that I ever send over to his shop is always really happy with the knowledge Ken can bring to the precision end of it, and obviously the handguns and everything else as well that he does, and the great service from all the guys there at the shop too. We're actually so impressed with all the work they've done. We're putting in a Constellation in their new shop there, so they're going to be all of the KDEX rifles are going to be on display at their shop.
Nice.
Which will be great to have there. So, and obviously, I also shoot for Swarovski and Collis. So they're great optic that I've been running for the last year. Actually a field tech for those guys. So if you're ever at at one of the ranges, and you want to check out some Swarovski scopes or spotting scope or binoculars, hit me up and we'll get you set up. So
awesome. Okay. And where can they contact you? Both, if they have questions or if they want to sign up for matches or what have you.
Facebook's always a great way to hit me. Just send me a direct message, or they can always find me on there. I'm Ryan McLean on Facebook, or they can hit up the Petawawa Club Series page as well. They can send me the message on there.
Perfect. Ken?
Yeah, and for myself, same thing. You can usually find me on any of the social media platforms there, and of course at the Bullseye store at any time. You can just call in, you can talk to me, or send me a quick email, ken@bullseyelondon.com. Very easy to get a hold of me. So
awesome. Thank you so much for both of you for coming on. And Ryan, anytime that you want us to plug your matches, just let us know. Send us the information. We'll send it out to everybody.
Perfect. Thanks. Appreciate that.
All right.
Awesome. Thanks a lot, guys.
Thanks guys.
Thanks.
See you later.
See ya.
All right. Thanks to Ryan and Ken for coming on and telling us a little bit more about PRS. Listener feedback. Now, you guys are hosting like watch parties on your own, right? So
Yes.
Are there any comments on there that we can't see that would be interesting to talk about?
I've been
let me see. Oh, okay.
responding to some of them as
somebody-
we go. Yep. Somebody what?
Marcel figured out that these questions were obviously because I was planning my next build, so he was right during the main topic.
Is it obvious that that's what we do? Like, we invite people on and then we like pick their brain about what we're going to do next. Like that is what we're all. This is self-serving, right?
Absolutely self-serving.
But if you're interested, that means other people will be interested.
Yes.
And quite honestly, I don't know if Trevor was all that interested, but then this, Ken and Ryan started to talk, and he's like this, and
I've tried to convince Trevor that 6.5 Creedmoor is a lot better than 308, but now we had the experts come on and say the same thing.
I know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, everybody at Meaford was running a bolt gun, and it was 6.5 Creedmoor. So.
Oh, okay. So Marcel brings up a very good point. Single malt Scotch has less calories than moonshine. Tim Mills, he makes his own liquor too, and gave me some samples. Really nice stuff. He believes everyone should love moonshine. Filthy is reminding me that I forgot to mention how his wife was able to outswear us all at the Steel Challenge. Shout out to Ella. Ella, I love this. All right, I got to bring this up. So, Filthy gets her a Ruger PCC.
Yes.
Then he gets her a tricked out 1022, or I don't know which one came first. Doesn't matter. Then he gets a Ronin chassis for his Glock 17, and then he takes her to the range with his PDW AR with the 22 conversion kit that doesn't run all that well, and safety she can't disengage, and finishes the match with Ben's rifle.
Awesome. She's shooting. That's fantastic.
She's got like a whack of guns.
Yeah.
And he takes out the worst choice, and she has to finish the match with somebody else's gun. But she did it, and she did it like a boss with a whole lot of swearing and a lot of hitting of the targets. It was amazing. She was a lot of fun to have out there with us.
Congratulations, Ella.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
And yep. All right, that's it on my watch party.
So there's a couple of people are asking if for the Ladies' Day event that is at EUSC, if you needed a PAL, if the ladies need a PAL. Nope, they do not need a PAL. They don't need experience. They don't need anything. They just need to come. So just let them know that. And the other thing is, Brad was asking about Maple Seeds. Maple Seeds schedule will be coming out soon. We're going to have the different shoot bosses in the different areas try and set those up. So. He's in the East Coast, so that'll be happening soon. So stay tuned. Once they're released, everybody will get noticed on that. So, yep, that's it.
Awesome.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Let's head on into listener feedback. Listener feedback is sponsored by Armory DC Gunsmith. Armory DC Gunsmith is a full-service gunsmith who specializes in firearms refinishing. He offers hot bluing, parkerizing, and Cerakote finishes. I hear he's pretty good at that, as well as wood refinishing. Check out his online inventory of new and used guns, firearms, accessories, optics, and more at dcgunsmith.ca, and check him out on Facebook and Instagram. Trevor, did you want to take this first one from Ben?
Sure. Just a few reminders of things you wanted me to email the show about so you didn't forget. This is Ben from the boys in Fredericton that we shoot with. First, True North Arms, you wanted to give a shout out to them and send along a pre-done letter, envelope, and sticker with the address of my local MP and even my return address. Okay, so Ben is smarter than the way he writes. This is horrible grammar. So I'm just going to paraphrase because he's got it written really bad. If you place an order with True North Arms, when your order arrives, they have included a form letter, a self-addressed envelope to your MP. They find out where you live, they find out who your MP is, and they send you the letter and the self-addressed envelope. All you got to do is sign it and put it in the mail. So True North Arms is going above and beyond to help people be active. Now, Adriel, you said you got letters back already, right? You emailed the Premier or the Prime Minister and your MP?
Yep, mailed them both, and my MP got back to me. Yep.
Mine did not. And they are required to, are they not?
They are. Mm-hmm.
I will follow up. Second, so who do you complain to when they don't get back to you?
I don't know. Trudeau.
It's got to be an official.
I was going to say the Prime Minister.
Well. You gotta like go up a level to Trudeau.
Perfect. I will do that.
I have a complaint about one of your staff.
Yeah. Second, the TCR22. I know Adriel touched on it when you weren't on the show, but I feel like it needs to be brought up again with more focus on just how good a deal it is for someone looking for a new semi-auto 22. Also, Cabela's has had it in the past on sale for $369.99 with free shipping twice now, I think. So don't let the MSRP scare people away. There is a great comparison video on YouTube that shows the difference between the 1022 and the TCR22. Here's the link. I think those were the only two things you wanted me to email the show about. Thanks, Frugal Furlot. So that's what. Remember I was telling you guys the whole.
Is his name Ben Furlot?
No. The group conversation has turned into the Furlot Bunch to make fun of the Brady Bunch, and everybody's got some ridiculous Furlot themed nickname.
Oh, his name is Frugal?
Frugal. Yeah, he's a cheap bastard, so somebody named him Frugal. Yeah. So the Thompson Center R22. Adriel, do you love it?
I have never seen one in IRL and haven't handled one yet.
Did you say IRL without typing?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
That's are you going to LOL instead of actually laughing out loud?
No, when you say LOL, you don't actually laugh out loud. You just go. It's just you exhale through your nose. You don't actually laugh.
But when you say IRL, it's a lot shorter than in real life.
Yeah, you need it to be short because you're typing, and typing is hard. But when speaking becomes hard, we need to when is the meteor going to hit?
Okay,
I want the reset button hit.
So TCR22.
Yeah, I think it's amazing. The features that it has.
Yeah, it's
for the price. It's the price of a bone stock crappy 1022.
I haven't seen one for this price. Like, where are you guys seeing them for $330?
That was Cabela's.
I see them for $550.
Yeah, I know.
I think for $330, I would have just bought one for the sake of it. I kind of do
$370. $370.
Yeah, I haven't
was
seen
on sale
Yeah.
at Cabela's.
So we actually did the review of it. So right now it's $550 at Cabela's.
Who's we? We reviewed this.
We talked about it. Somebody wrote in an email, and then we talked about it quite a bit actually.
Probably Ben.
No, it wasn't Ben.
No?
All right, go back and listen to the past episodes, Ben.
Yeah, and then we reviewed it quite a bit, and
We didn't review it if we didn't own it.
Okay, we talked about it.
Mm-hmm.
So, do you remember that face I had at the beginning of the program?
Oh, your distressed face?
It's my pissed face.
Oh, well, use the correct terminology. I won't have to correct you.
We talked about it quite extensively. How is that? Is that better?
Extensively implies like an hour-long conversation, so no,
it was
I don't
15 minutes.
All right, so you chatted about it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And what? And Kelly, what do you think about it?
It feels good in the hand. Yeah, it feels great in the hands. Yeah.
There's a classy. You should be a YouTuber with reviews like that.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Amazing.
Feels good
All
in
right.
the hand.
Let's move on to John.
All right, from John. I was just listening to episode 342. Trevor's thinking about acquiring another GSG 1911. Funny story, I decided to sell mine this week, but haven't managed to list it on CGN yet. Let me know if I should bother to send pics. I'm John from Gunning Around.
Yeah, I asked John to send me pictures. I thought I did, but I don't remember getting them. So, did he say in this email he sent pictures?
Yeah, he did.
No, he said, let me know if I should send pics.
Yes, absolutely send pics, John. Of the gun, please.
Okay. Mm-hmm. And if you go in and look at the email thread, he sent pictures.
Oh, there are pictures in the email.
Right.
Fantastic.
This is my correcting you now.
No, I don't think I don't think that qualifies as a correction.
Oh, shut up. Let's move on to Ginger Snaps.
Yeah, go ahead, Kelly.
So why do I get to read this?
Because I'm the host.
From Ginger Snaps. Okay, let's see if it's even readable. Is our prime minister spending money like an 18-year-old New Brunswicker boy that got his first paycheck from a drilling rig and is headed to see his first stripper? Oh God! Lap dances for all the boys, a tray of shooter for those girls over there, and he can't figure out why he's in debt.
No, that's debt. So that's like department.
Yeah,
it's not
I
debt.
fixed the spelling.
Yeah.
It's not department. It's debt. Is this guy a moron? Just a reminder: a pipeline seldomly leaks oil on the ground. I'll never derail and take out a small town. James.
True. Pipelines don't do those things.
Well, there's that Mexican video where there was a
That's
gas
a Mexican pipeline. Come on.
Yeah, it's okay. So, thanks.
You want to take that follow up as well?
More Ginger Snaps. Let's play a game. Oh, Jesus. Out of the Slamfire crew, that's in a horror movie. Who's going to die?
Everyone's going to die.
Yeah, it's a horror movie. Can I go first?
Nobody survives. Yeah,
no.
Go first, Kelly.
That's mean. Can I go first? Can I die first?
I think Trevor survives the longest because he's in the middle of nowhere. If it's a zombie movie, there's like, how many people in your hometown, Trevor? Like 200? A dozen? I bet you could take all of them out and then just like chill in the middle of nowhere.
King of Campbellton. How about this? How about we pick which of our fellow co-hosts is going to die first and why? Kelly, you go first. Who's going to die first? And why?
Dave Krakke, because he's not here, and I pick him.
Nice.
And why, though?
And why? Because... No, I actually don't think so. I think I am, because I am in the middle of a bigger city, and I need more...
movie.
It's a horror movie.
Right. You could be at Camp Crystal Lake. These were the parameters. Horror
pretty
movie.
Old there. Pretty old reference, but it checks out.
Okay, James, you need to send in better definitions of what type of horror movie this is. If it's, I don't know.
Wow.
Trevor?
Kelly.
Take a shot at Trevor.
It's gonna be.
All right, it's gonna be Kelly. I also think it's gonna be Kelly because Kelly tries to make peace with everyone and everything and is indecisive, and
You know
so the
what?
killer is just gonna kill her. She'll be like, "Can we talk about this?"
Actually, I don't think it's gonna be me first.
Okay. Are you changing your answer?
That's me being indecisive. Yeah, because when people piss me off, they piss me off, and yeah, I go for blood. So, all right.
Adriel?
My turn. Trevor, as soon as he goes up a slight incline, blow his calf.
Yeah, I'm with Adriel on that one.
You gotta run in these movies.
No, it's always the slow person.
I was thinking it was more like a zombie movie, right? But it's a full-fledged horror movie. Yeah, Trevor's gonna get it first because, yeah.
He's lost a bunch of weight though. He could probably run way faster now.
True.
Mm-hmm.
True. Right.
Mm-hmm. Terrible.
Okay,
Anyways.
James, you're gonna write into us, and you're gonna tell us who you think's gonna die first, or in which order, and how and why, and what type of movie it is. This is like too broad. I need it narrowed down, funneled down, sum up.
This is why you're dying first. This is why you're dying first, right here. Jesus, this to shut you up.
Indecisiveness.
What kind? I know you're a killer and this is the horror movie, but tell me, what kind of killer are you? You know,
it's James. He's the one that set out the question. I'm not. Listen, Freddie.
All right. If you want to send an email into the show and ask us how we're going to die, send your email to slamfireradio@gmail.com. Shoutouts, Trevor?
Yes. My shout out is to Bill. High five, Bill.
Cool. Kelly?
Nope.
I got a shout out to the guys who commented on the YouTube video, and they're like, wait a minute, you forgot about that Norinco thing, so now I got one. So now I get to review that. Patreon supporters, we have a new Patreon-y. Mac Russell is donating. Is it 500? 50?
$5.
$5, but like what caliber is that? Is that 50 caliber? Is that 500?
58.
58. I like 58. Email the show in, and we will send you a patch in the mail. If you haven't received your patch in a month, send us an email again, or Facebook Adriel directly, and just complain to him, and he'll get that out.
Has anybody done that?
Connected with me directly to complain?
Yeah.
No.
Okay.
No, not yet.
Well, I don't
now that I've said on air, probably get all sorts of people.
No.
You can also
You're my favorite.
I feel like you're limited on selection here. You can also support the show by visiting our website and clicking on the links for Cabela's. Join one of our national firearms associations, such as the CCFR. Check us out on Gun Owners of Canada, and like us on Facebook. We're up to 2,351.
Sweet.
Yeah, we're getting up there. All right, good night, everyone.
We're closing in on them homeless kids.
Good night.
Closing in.